Monday update. It is Monday night. You are in the right place at the right time because this is it. This is where you find out what is going on with Project Die Hard right here, right now. We do our Monday updates because there's a lot going on. We need to keep you in the loop of what's happening so that you can know all the things that are happening here. And who else would you want to hear that from but the president and founder of Project Die Hard? I'm going to go ahead and bring in Brian Gibson to tell us all what is happening. And we are so glad to see you here, Brian. Thanks again for all you do and for being here. I'm going to pass it over to you to find out what's happening.
Well, again, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing without your help. Okay. Everybody, Susan, Kurt, are ambassadors for Project Die Hard. Reach out to them if you want in-depth questions answered. This update is just like an overview of what we're going. There's a lot more stuff happening. But let's get into this because, yeah, things are moving and we got to get some points across. Let me bring this up. All right. Our first thing is thank you and God bless the Overton B. Morris Post 306 of Metropolis, Illinois. Because of their support, we have 2 more months of our outreach programs happening, our fellowship breakfast. That is so amazing. We got 2 more months. But this is what it takes. This is what it takes. People help believing in our mission and seeing what we're doing and supporting it. So we're going to go into that. How do we grow? PDH prayer, hashtag PDH prayer. When you're sharing this mission, use that hashtag. That's how it grows. We know prayer works because 20 acres in a 10,000 square foot building was donated. Veterans' lives have been saved. And our outreach programs keep growing. So we know it works. Please keep the prayers coming. PDH share. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn. Sharing our mission grows the mission in God's kingdom. It helps veterans find hope. This podcast that we do every week, veterans look forward to watching it because of some of the guests, because of Susan. It gives them a reason to hang on. So the more people you share our mission with, especially this podcast, the more we grow. Our YouTube especially. Look us up on YouTube. We hit 1,000 subscribers and 400,000 or 4,000 hours of content. Then we start to get monetized. The mission grows faster. PDH volunteers. Yep, hashtag PDH volunteer. Our volunteers are the backbone of this mission. They bring skills, talents, and time to grow. And we save resources that way. Because that way there, we don't have to pay people to do things. Whether you're in person coming to a forward operating base, or you're sitting behind a computer somewhere in the United States, every little bit helps. I am located in Western Kentucky. Susan, where are you located?
I'm just outside of Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
See how this works? Internet's a great thing, folks. You can help in many, 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 many ways. You don't just have to come to a facility and swing a hammer. Would we love if you could? Yeah. But again, this is why we do our give back days on a certain day of the month. So people can plan. Make that trip. Bring a busload. The more hands, the faster it happens. And then PDH donate. When you give to the mission, you bring hope to veterans. Your donation supporting our events and facilities, not trips for VIPs or six-figure salaries. When you become a patron, you get the right to come visit and see where your donation is going. From day one, we've been completely financially transparent. I can't push this enough, folks. You won't see a miscellaneous line on our financial reports. If you do, scream out, because I don't allow that. We do ask people for $22 a month. But any amount is a blessing to this mission and can help grow it. Our current needs right now, today, is 32 monthly patrons. Praise God to the American Legion in Metropolis, Illinois. We got 2 more months. So we have 60 days to find 32 kind-hearted people to give $22 a month. What does that do? That means we don't have to run and figure out where next month's funding for that event comes from. That's what it means. We were blessed to have 2 months covered. But let us concentrate on bigger and better things by getting that outreach program covered. Volunteer. Help grow God's kingdom and the mission. We need you. You have the voice, the skill, the talent to grow this mission. If God is calling you into the kingdom to serve and you're trying to figure out how, ask him about Project Die Hard. Because he gave the mission, he runs the mission. And remember, share this mission. Tell the world. That's how this mission grows. And this is how these needs are achieved, is if you tell somebody about us. So that is, quote unquote, the update this week. We didn't get blessed with a guest, but there was a reason for it. We had to dive into those. So let's talk about we'll go backwards. PDH donate. Why should people donate?
So, well, I want to ask you if you could dive in just a little bit on what the outreach all involves. So, we're talking about the events that are to be covered in the next 2 months. What does that include?
That includes our fellowship breakfast in Paducah, Kentucky. Right? we started that when we first started. COVID made us cut it down, but we got it back rolling. Uh, this is such a great blessing because, I mean, last year from January 2023 to 2024, 454 veterans got a safe, secure place to come together and receive a free meal.
Wait, 454 veterans.
Yeah.
That's a lot. That's awesome. That's not just a couple guys showed up one day and said, "Hey, let's get together." That's an impact.
Well, yeah. And we invite other nonprofits in the area that have programs to come and attend with us. The Kentucky Veterans Affairs, not the national, but the Kentucky one, they send a representative every week, right? Or every month. They send a representative to this event. And I'm waiting on it, but during our last event, we had a discussion, and she said, if memory serves me right, 22 veterans got benefits through them because they met her at the fellowship breakfast.
That's huge. Those guys would, guys, gals, whoever it was, may not have had, they definitely wouldn't have had it in that timeline had they not been there that day. So the fact that that outreach program is taking place, that you guys are getting together at a nice casual breakfast where camaraderie is taking place and people are meeting each other that can benefit each other. That's huge. I'm so excited. I hadn't heard that number before. I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah, well, again, it's been in the emails again.
But I missed that one.
Okay, folks. My team that are watching, if you're not checking your emails, you're missing a lot because I keep my team well informed of what's happening and what our needs are, because this is how we operate. The needs are put out. We all come together. We form a plan. We talk. We argue. But then the best outcome for the veteran happens that way. That rolls into the volunteerism. Step up. Step up. You'll never get anything assigned to you. Well, Susan can attest. Have I ever said, hey, you need to do this?
No.
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 I say, this needs to be done. Who's got it, right?
Yeah.
And what do I ask when you take on an assignment?
That it be completed, right? If you say you've got it, you've got it.
And
Let's
keep
see.
me
Keep
in
you informed.
the loop.
Yes. And the other thing I always hear too is thank you and God bless. Because this is an organization of volunteers. We are all, I mean, the mission, that's got to be kept in mind of why does this exist? What's the whole point of this? Well, there's a massive point to all this. But you're talking volunteerism right now, and I want to make sure it's clear that you already said it. We aren't even in the same state, right? We're not in the same room. We're not in the same city. We're not even in the same state. We are a long ways apart and still working on the same team here.
Yeah.
If you look at the ambassadors that are on board, if you look at the leadership team that's on board, we are spread out across the United States. This is not just something to benefit those that are able to go and have breakfast together on a particular day in a particular place. Yes, that is a benefit. However, as a volunteer, you don't have to be thinking, oh, well, I'm not there, so I can't help. Wait a second. There are so many things that can be done from wherever you are, distance is not an issue.
Yeah,
What you can do maybe look a little different based on where you are, right? Because if I was closer to you, I'd already have had a chainsaw in my hand out helping what's going on there.
but again,
However,
but again, and remember, folks, Foul Brush is our first facility. We're putting one in every state. We will get a fellowship breakfast in your location. But we can't do that without volunteers to grow this mission. We can't do that without people sharing this mission, because that's how we find the people to become $22 a month patrons. That's how it works. Now, volunteerism. If you have an idea, we want to hear it. Every person on this team takes on their own responsibilities. Kurt and Susan handle this podcast. That's the additional duty on top of being an ambassador they've taken on. This podcast. So, if you want to be on this podcast, email monday@projectdiehard.org. They are the ones that are going to be talking with you to see if you fit this mission and to be on this podcast. When you ask me, hey, I want to be on your podcast, I'm just going to tell you, email monday@projectdiehard.org. Because I trust these people to do what they say. They understand the mission. They understand the requirements. They understand things that they don't bother me with, because it ain't going to happen if, do I need to bring those back up again, you think?
you can't wear every hat. You try to, but you can't. You're one person. That's why we need more people.
And again, folks, here it is. God will never leave this mission. Don't ask. If you don't like it, that's on you, but don't ask us. We will never use the suffering of veterans to grow this mission. We won't. It's been done way too long. And I'm sick and tired of people using my brothers and sisters as a cash cow. And third, no drugs or alcohol allowed within the mission. Now, what does that mean on that last one? If you're wearing one of these, you don't partake into a public event. But if you have a venue and you want to hold a fundraiser that libations are served at, feel free. It's a free country. I fought for it. My brothers and sisters fought for it. But if you're wearing one of these, or anything that says I identify as a member of the team, you will not be partaking in said libations. I can't. So those are the three. So come on, folks. If you can work within those parameters, right? We want you. We need you. Volunteer at projectdiehard.org. Sharing. That's because I've learned from Kurt, and I've learned from Sue, I've learned from Christy, I've learned from Beth, I've learned from all of my team. How does this work? Sharing the mission. Hashtags, ats, all that little marketing stuff. So, what the team has gotten in their emails as of Monday morning, the official thing is if you're sharing this mission, thank you for sharing, but hey, do this at Project Diehard. Hashtag PDH Prayer. Hashtag PDH Share. Hashtag PDH Volunteer. Hashtag PDH Donate. When you see my team sharing Die Hard stuff, that will be on there in a comment of that's boom. If that's the only thing they put on, that's what's put on. Add your other things. That's how we grow. Okay. What's next? What else do we need to talk about?
I was gonna say that, and that is an easy thing to do, and anybody can do that. Anybody at all. You see that out there, share it out and include all those hashtags, and include the commentary. Make your own comments on there. Like it, love it, anything, whatever it is, because it was mentioned earlier. You can find Project Diehard on Facebook. You can find Project Diehard on LinkedIn. You can find Project Diehard on Instagram. And you can find Project Diehard on YouTube. And YouTube has that subscribe button, right? You hear about that all the time. It's a button. Click it. Go for it. Find it. Click it. Because that is a way that will end up feeding back into the program in the long term here. So, like you said before, once you have a certain number of subscribers and a certain number of watch hours on there, it becomes a way for money to be coming back into this organization. So it's not it feels like a little thing, just clicking that button, but it really does make a difference. Go do it. If you haven't done it yet, go there now.
Yeah, go there
Share it
now.
with your friends. How easy is that to do that? Just send that out.
Hey, I got 3 screens. I know you got more than one. You can do multiple things. Okay. If you're my generation and can do it, you younger ones, I know you can.
They got all sorts of ways of doing things like that.
Yeah. I'm looking right here. Indian Noble Eichmann. Thank you. God bless for sharing our mission. Thomas Schwan Thomas. Thank you for sharing our mission. Yeah. This is how it works, folks. This is how it works. I'm looking right here. Thank you and God bless for sharing our mission. You helped bring hope to veterans just by doing that.
That's awesome. The biggest thing I would like to see is for this to be, I don't want Project Diehard to be the best kept secret out there, right? We need Project Diehard to be something that is recognized everywhere. I want to be able to go to California, go to Utah, I don't care where I would like for wherever I go and I'm wearing the Project Diehard shirt that somebody will be like, "Oh, yeah, I know that. I know that thing. I want to help."
Again, that's how it works.
Yeah.
Folks, when you come to an event and you come to a facility and I happen to be there, you see what I'm wearing? This is what I wear. Because I'm no better than any of my volunteers. I'm no better than you. But some of my team says, well, you got to dress up. Why? Because you're the... I don't take a paycheck. So I'm a volunteer, right? I just happen to be the head volunteer.
The jack of all trades,
Yeah.
wearing all those hats. And that, again, we need people to come on in and to take on pieces of this. You want to talk a little bit about the location? You mentioned the 10,000 square foot building. There
Mm-hmm.
are things that need to happen there, like
Oh
in the
yeah.
near future. There's remodeling taking place. What is what? Where is the current status of that now? And what is
Well,
there as we're looking future wise here? What's coming?
as I said earlier, we do our PDH Give Back Day the second Saturday of every month. This is planned so you can mark it on your calendar. Do something for Die Hard that day. That's a give back day. Do something for the mission if it's sharing it. Now, if you come to a facility, be prepared to work because that's how we save funds. Volunteers come in and do work. In fact, we have a new ministry partner, the Safe Haven Church out of Paducah, Kentucky. They came up this last Saturday to forward operating base Rush. 4 of them, 4 people. They said, we can give you 2 hours. Okay, cool, thanks. And in 2 hours, they got all the drywall down in one of the back bedrooms. And I'm so glad that they didn't spend 30, 40 minutes trying to convince me that, oh, all we need to do is paint this or do that. They said, what needs done? I said, all the drywall needs down. And they took it down. But this led to me being vindicated. When we found the mold behind the drywall, this is why every room has to go back down to stud. We have to see everything. It's only drywall, but we have to make sure this building is the safest, healthiest, secure place for veterans to find hope. I was in a meeting earlier and onto a podcast. I forget which one because this is my mission. I'd much rather be up working on the fob, but I got to be on these things. And don't mind it. It's the call. But that question was asked. I got to roll back down to that donate button now, right? If a corporate sponsor steps up and patrons our fellowship breakfast, praise God, share the mission, tell them about it because, yeah, we could use that. But in that same retrospect, we still need 32 people to give $22 a month because no funds that you donate to us goes to anything else than to do our outreach programs and build forward operating base Rush. That's where funds go. That's where they go. To bring hope to veterans. I think it's time to bring up that text I sent the team this morning.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking too. You had shared a message out to us, and can you share it beyond the team at this point? What is it that hit your inbox that you ended up sharing out to us? That's a pretty important piece.
Okay, well, first, people ask, why am I so driven? Okay, why am I so driven? And I know I'm a beating on the drum, and I won't stop, but every day, my inbox, my text messages, I get notified. A good brother of mine and a fellow veteran who runs another nonprofit reached out and said, please be in prayer for, I won't drop the name because we're not ready to drop the name, but a veteran, late 20s, a wife, a 1-year-old son, who lost his fight to the demons last Wednesday. Now, you can ask the team. I normally don't send out those messages, do I?
No.
But that one moved on my heart because of where we're at and the help we need. I cannot stress it enough, folks. We work with the blessings we receive. I need you to step up. Help. Everybody goes, how do I help? How do you help? Help. I pray, share, volunteer, donate. Those are the ones that, but I'll take anything you got. I will. Sue knows that. Hey, I want to do a car wash. Go ahead. Do you need me there? That's how it works. But yeah, that another organization I follow. I love their thing. Boots on the ground, right? I really hate talking about that because we're done talking. We know the issue. Veterans make up over 50% of all suicides in America. Need I say more? Everyone is bad, but veterans make up over half. I don't need to sit here and talk about that. It's known. It's known. We don't just talk about it. Yeah, part of our mission is public awareness. But our big mission is bringing hope to veterans. How do we do it? Our fellowship breakfast, our facilities. We will do more when we get people to step up. Because, as Susan said, many hats. The too many. I'm so grateful for Susan and Kurt taking on this podcast, handling all the guests, all that. I'm so grateful for Beth, who's taking on fundraising. I'm so grateful for Chrissy, who takes on marketing, right? But there's a lot more that I can't do alone. And I don't have the expertise. So if you do, reach out, volunteer. Email volunteer@projectdiehard.org. That's the first step in volunteering. We send you an application. We ask you to list your skills so we can place you in a place where you get fulfilled and the mission grows. That's just how it works. Some people volunteer and they don't make the cut to join the mission. We're very particular in who we have interact with our veterans. Their heart must be pure. You will not have any hidden motivations or no, won't happen. Won't happen. Okay, well, guess who showed up?
I think I know.
Bring him in.
Here he comes. Ready or not. Welcome.
Why, thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay, folks, you've heard me beat the drum, right? But I'm going to turn you on to a man who can better explain why you need to volunteer. Because he's good at it. I'm not. I'm trying to step up. But Kurt here is going to tell you why. It's all yours, Kurt.
All right. Well, clearly I come from a place that I can volunteer to reach high expectations. So let's see what I can do, folks. So again, the story with me is I met Brian a couple years. Well, it's two years and a handful of months or something, I think, by now. So I've been saying 2 years for quite a while here. But yeah, it was actually on another live stream. And, and I heard what's going on here, that, we have a chance to save lives of veterans. First of all, it spoke to me because my wife, Sue, here and we served in pre-hospital care, going out there and being ready to save lives for people in our community. And, if you think of the ideas of like CPR, bystander CPR, or first aid, things like this, I think it's a little bit of human nature, that whatever we can do to help somebody in a position where we'd want that help too, if we were in their position, to me, that's just what it's about. That's what life is about. That's what it is, being human and in mutual aid and interdependency. We never know when we need help. I needed help, with my health condition, several years ago. And, I had an incident when I was, water skiing. And, my water skiing friends, came to my assistance and got to the ER. And all of a sudden I was told that I got about as close to a heart attack as you can get without having a heart attack. So these things kind of really woke me up a little bit in terms of the delicate fabric of life. And, I think, we all can, consider our position in the chances other people have to survive. So on the veteran front, Sue and I do adaptive water skiing. And so the history of our decade of really expanding what we do as a family, providing all people with disabilities water skiing, injured and wounded veterans, showed up. And, this is kind of where we also at the same time dove into this topic of veteran suicide and this whole realm of being a veteran. A few years ago, we learned that veterans a lot of times purposely don't disclose or don't put on job applications that there's a veteran. So there's just so many, patriotic or, civilian or, or vets helping vets. There's a lot of opportunity here at Project Die Hard for, just doing what's needed. And, some people I talk to, we talk about karma and stuff like that. So everybody can decide what we believe in terms of, paying it forward and, kind of how it comes back to us without expectation, in many returns, so, but the idea is that when we talk about that, we know veterans throughout our day, whatever we decide to do in our day, by the closing of every day, there are several veterans that we've lost. And this is happening every day, day in and day out. And I talk about how nobody on planet Earth has the solution for this in terms of getting the 8 billion people or getting, general society responding to a high enough level to get the statistic ticking down or to have a tick down. It's like for, over a decade and so forth, it just keeps going up and up and up. So the idea for me is that it tugs on my heart to say, what kind of, humanity do we have? Kind of what kind of value structures, our morals, kind of what is life about? If we're a society that just stands by and lets this happen. So the volunteering aspect is something where if we can think of this as an all hands on deck initiative, that's what makes it doable. The thing that makes it exponentially tougher is that if we have people out there in our nation or the world saying, it's great that Brian's doing this, good luck, Brian. To me, if we take that approach, to me, that seems a little negligent. If we don't have much to offer, well, then let's not offer much, but let's offer what we can. Sue has heard me say many times in her time knowing me that we'd have discussions and we'd solidify our obstacles, our challenges, and what we can't do. And Sue has heard me probably 1,100 to 2,000 times. Well, once we figure out what we can't do, I'm interested to keep going until we figure out what we can do. And that's what my ask is of everybody out there. Instead of saying, oh, I'm too strapped for time, oh, this, oh, that, think of your year, 2024, and let's think about, are you really giving yourself permission to go the full year without helping? If you're finding some other way to help this issue, in essence, you're helping Project Die Hard, because that's the point. We're out there in nonprofit space to just be there for our veterans. And like I say, we're all humble. None of us have the answer, but we're all making these efforts. And so that's my ask. Can you pledge in 2024, whether with Project Die Hard or some other veteran service organization or your own way, just checking a vet? You can just dive in and just independently go and tackle this issue yourself. That's the whole point of this. And to me, if there ever was a demographic that deserves our response like this, it's our vets. Because like me, like Brian said, as a man, I'm 52 years old, and I can tell you that I'm your biggest scaredy cat. I'm afraid of the dark, afraid of heights. When I joined the fire department, I thought I was going to help them with firefighting, but they told me I had to go into a burning building. And I'm like, I'm afraid of the dark. I get claustrophobic. Those self-contained breathing apparatuses, I don't do good with that on. And so they told me the way I could help, hop in the ambulance, pre-hospital care of the ambulance. And then Sue teamed up with me to help me do that, because it was a new thought for me to do that. So you never know what life brings you and what it can mean to you personally, but that's what we're asking. Whether it's on the faith side and you decide to pray upon it and find your calling, I'd be hard pressed to be in any conversation and people in my life are telling me that they can't do anything from now to the end of the year to help veterans in some way, shape, or form. It's just, please pick a way.
Okay, well, that brings up tomorrow on our social media feed. What is tomorrow? Touching Tuesday. Reach out and touch your veteran. That's what Touching Tuesday is for. Reach out and touch that veteran in your life. Give them a hug. Give them a text. Give them a phone call. Say, hey, I'm touching you. How you doing? That's Touching Tuesday. You see, folks, this is how it works. We do a message every morning. I do. Because I have to. Encouraging my brothers and sisters to carry on. When you share that from our social media pages, that's a Touching Tuesday moment. Because the veteran you send it to might just need to hear, keep going. You got this. Don't give up. That's what I do every morning. You heard from Kurt. Look. Yeah, I find it very hard pressed that people. I'm glad Kurt explained this because look, folks, I get emails every day. Pay me and I will. Pay me and I will. No. I'd much rather spend our funds on providing a free meal to a veteran in fellowship. We have many, many programs, many, many ways to help those who help us. Beyond this podcast, bring a message of hope to veterans. We didn't have a guest today, and there's a reason why we didn't. God said you didn't need a guest. You need to talk about what you're talking about. Okay, got it. But this is why we're talking about this. Volunteer. Step up. Business plan. Volunteer coordinator. Sue and Kurt need help with this podcast. They need a person who can sit back behind the scenes and run this show. Bring all the ins and outs, and commercials are going to be coming real soon. So we need somebody there that can bring those commercials in, fade them out. You know, folks, who do you know who has that talent? Who can give 2 hours a week and bring hope to veterans? I don't know. So what do you got on that? Because I'm running out of before my Irish pops out and I really start getting mad.
Well, all I can think that goes through my mind over and over with what Kurt was saying, what you were saying, and it's been said before, and it's just what keeps coming forward in my head right now is the person that we need for that role, the person that we need for the volunteer coordinator role, for breaking down the walls the next time that we're all those things. The people are out there. They just haven't heard the message yet of the need. And that's why it's so important for us all to get involved and to share this out and keep talking about it. Keep talking about it. And you know what? People want to hear this. They don't want to hear there's a problem. That's it. We want to, hide from the fact that veteran suicide is a real deal. It's a real problem. Nobody wants to hear that, but it's a fact. And you can't argue the sad fact, and that there's a way to help. You can make a difference. That's probably there's a lot of us that, me included, that I didn't know I was needed to make that difference, but you know what? I have a role here. There's a reason I'm sitting here talking right now. And for all the people out there that are hearing this, there's a reason that you're needed as well. There's a reason you're hearing this. This is hitting your eardrums because you can make a difference. You're needed to make a difference. We don't know what that looks like yet. Have a conversation with us. Reach out. Real easy. We have real easy email addresses on purpose here. Reach out to me, Susan at projectdiehard.org. Reach out to Kurt at projectdiehard.org. You want to be part of this podcast? Monday at projectdiehard.org. If you want to volunteer, if you're all these things, it's such an easy reach out to actually get involved. It's a very easy reach. If you go to, I was saying before, go to YouTube and search up Project Die Hard. You'll find us. Find us there. Share it out. Subscribe. Like all the things. It takes you like 2 minutes. You're good at your phone, right? At most. I'm exaggerating. 2 minutes is not a big thing, right? It's while you're waiting in line at the store for your turn at the checkout. Get on your phone and just take a moment and share it out. You don't need to be watching all the little, waste your time video things that you're scrolling past anyway. Take those 2 minutes and do something productive. Share it out, like it, all those little things that you just need to find those little moments in your day, and it's easier than you think. If you really just stop a moment and think about it, you got the time. It's a matter of how you're using it. And if this speaks to you like it did to me, there you go. You got a reason for spending that time in a certain way. So, because we could use the help. And that's, if you haven't heard that yet, as this night has gone on, this project really could use the help. And nobody likes to beg for help. We just need that word out there so that you guys all know the importance, because it's not for me that you're doing this. You're not doing this for Kurt. You're not doing this for Brett. You're doing this because the veterans are out there who need that help. They need the hope. If that wasn't a real thing, we wouldn't be sitting here right now. So it's a real thing.
Yeah, folks, I wouldn't have started this mission if I wouldn't have lost more of my brothers and sisters to this demon suicide than multiple combat tours as a combat medic. I can't tell you. I can't. I'm not begging. Look, you want to help, help. You don't? I understand. But don't hinder. My team works way too hard. They do. They work really hard. Don't hinder their progress. Because I'm just going to leave it at that, because I'm a Christian, I'm saved by grace, and I'm going to be a nice guy.
I'm going to ask you to share one more thing. Yeah, now we know, we've heard in previous episodes here, we know that Fabrush doors are open. What can people do there? What's available?
Day room, kitchen, meeting area. Yeah. If you want to use Fabrush facilities to help bring hope to veterans, reach out. Contact at projectdiehard.org. We'll talk. And if your heart is pure and you are going to help bring hope to veterans, we're not going to charge you money to use the facility. But if you're there to take advantage of my brothers and sisters, good enough answer?
Yes, there's a lot of good things going on right at the location there. If you're anywhere nearby, McCanda, Illinois, Look it up on a map. If you haven't heard of the town, you don't know where it is, look it up.
Hey, check it out. Check it out. There's this big eclipse happening about 50 days from now that's going to fly right over Fabrush.
Ooh. It might be a great reason to get together right there. If you're anywhere nearby,
if you're going to be down there looking up at the sun, stop by Fabrush. Take a look at what we're doing.
Nothing better than getting your eyes on it yourself, right?
Yeah, but I'm not going to sit there and stare at the sun that's being blocked out. That's nothing.
I meant at the Fabrush itself.
Oh, yeah.
Come on down and check out the location. See it for yourself. There's a lot of pictures online. If you want to get a glimpse of the place, you can. It's not hard to find.
We post videos, pictures. Yeah, this last Saturday, that Give Back Day, there's a nice video out there. It's only maybe 3 minutes long. Check out what these volunteers did and why I'm vindicated. It's on our Facebook page. It's on our LinkedIn page. It's on our Instagram page. Haven't uploaded it to YouTube yet. All right. Well, I think we made our hour. Wow. Praise be to God. We did this. Again, folks, thank you. God bless for all you do, for all you're going to do. And brothers and sisters, keep going. Don't give up. We're in the fight for you. Kurt doesn't want to see you go. Susan doesn't want to see you go. I don't want to see you go. So there's 3 people you're going to disappoint if you go through with that stupid idea you got. Don't do it. I will let these 2 close it out because my phone is going off again. Have a safe one.
Awesome. Brian, can't say enough good things about what you're doing, where your heart is in all this. And you're making a difference. And I know you're wearing a lot of hats and you're being pulled in so many directions. I hope that it's clear and that you understand how much of a difference you are making and how much that's appreciated. So I know many things I've heard Brian say that stick in my mind. One of them being teamwork makes the dream work. We have a great team going. We need to grow this team. There's all sorts of opportunities. Come and talk to us. Let's sort out what that looks like. What talents do you have? What thoughts do you have? What can we, of what you already are and do, and who do you know? What can we do together to make this grow and to reach the goals, to get that building open 100%, to get all those things in place, to get the funding in place? What can we do to make this happen? It takes a team. It's not a one-person job. It takes a team. And check your vet. That's the other thing I've heard over and over. Check your vet. Reach out, talk to them, talk to those you know. And before we totally close out here, I just want to make sure, Kurt, do you have any last thoughts you want to share as well here?
Sure. I'll just enter in one last thought I can throw in here. For 30 years, we've known in the nonprofit sector that volunteerism is on, kind of a reforming, and the experience that people take on with volunteerism, it finds itself in different ways. It's not the days of the 1950s, 1960s, 70s, 80s where, everybody was joining Lions, Kiwanis, Rotary Optimist Club, and, everybody doing these, year in and year out organizations and ongoing support. I was told 20 years ago that it's more like through events or through projects and, just kind of making a short commitment. So I just throw that in there because that may be what, makes it happen. Just give Project Die Hard a try. You don't have to be too serious about it. We've had some people volunteering with us that volunteered with us for a short time and they took a step back right now and hopefully they'll find us again. But the fact that they're not, with us right now, this day, not an issue. But we appreciate the help that they provided, and you could come into that fold, to help us on a day with something. So with that, I'll pass back to you, Sue. Thanks.
Excellent. Well, we will be back here again next Monday because that is what we're doing. We're here on Monday nights for Project Die Hard Mission Monday update. We look forward to seeing you guys again next time. And anyone who's listening to this live, you're always able to enter anything in the chat messages, and we can see that. We can incorporate that. Feel free to do that. As I probably should have said that earlier on tonight, but for future, just know that that's some way that you can participate live while we're doing this as well. So until next Monday, 6:30 p.m. Central, we will see you right back here for Project Die Hard Mission Monday update. Thank you.